We got the gang back together.
Oh yeah, we all haven't recorded in quite some time.
Would it be so bad if an 84-year-old got into heroin?
Welcome to the Cat Organizational Podcast.
You idiot. It's written down in front of you, you idiot.
This is like the buffalo chicken wrap of answers.
I haven't heard about hot orcs in a while.
We were so horny for motion controls in 2005.
I can't wait to come back and tell you how it was Noah's Ark, you asshole.
I would also like to retroactively say I've never had cotton candy acid.
So Andrew's 100% doing a voice, right?
Everybody get off IMDb now. Time to record.
This episode and probably this whole podcast is a mistake.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this podcast, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and how the Final Fantasy VII Remake just might be the thing that saves our world from the brink of disaster. If it ever does actually come out.
It's Half-Life 3, Andrew.
I thought that was supposed to come out like a decade ago?
Exactly.
It was. I bought a PS4 for the Final Fantasy VII Remake in 2005 or 15.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. So not only is it coming out in later this year, well, it got moved a couple times, but it was originally going to be March. I think now it's April. So we'll see. And it's really cool. I mean, you guys should see the trailer. Like, if you played Final Fantasy VII, I know you did, Todd. I mean, it looks really good. Like,
I played it enough to be dangerous. Yeah. Like, I get it.
Yeah. The trailer actually makes it look cool. Like, for a long time, I was like, this is never going to be as good as people think it's going to be. But the trailer does a good at hyping up. The problem is the thing's going to be episodic, and I think like they mentioned it like 2 years ago that this thing would come out in episodes, and I feel like everyone's forgotten that this is just the first half of disc 1.
So when they only get to play the first like eighth of the game,
right?
No one's gonna come back for part 2.
I just have a feeling. Yeah, I just have a feeling like everyone's gonna lose their goddamn minds because this is just the first. Like, this is just Midgar. Like, literally, like the 6-hour introduction to the game.
That's got to be why they announced it so long ago. They're like, man, if we tell them 2 months in advance that it's only going to be in episodes, then no one will remember by the time the game actually comes out.
They're playing 4D chess.
Yeah.
They always are. So to segue, speaking of things that I can't believe exist, earlier this month, we saw the release of, DC's Birds of Prey and the something Harley Quinn. Now, at the time of recording this, we're actually just a few days from release. So we can assume by the time you are listening that this movie killed it in the box office and has absolutely revitalized the DC cinematic universe.
Can I just say that my parents are getting paid to go to this movie this weekend?
What?
Why are your parents getting paid to see DC's Birds of Prey?
Because no one wanted this movie except
Matt's parents.
Except Margot Robbie.
And the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So everyone just say that when you say the full title, so no one gets this off the tongue. No one gets this confused.
Is that really what it is? That's real?
Yeah. Well, I want you to say the full title because I don't want to get confused over which movie your parents are going to see.
The Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn?
No,
Fantabulous.
Oh, that's so much worse. Oh, God. No, I guess, like, they're getting paid by, like, some company that tests how well places handle Groupons. I'm convinced that it's a DC scam that they're just trying to put butts in seats for this movie.
I think they're trying to put butts in seats. Well, I know that I will not be seeing this movie unless it's free on a plane. I imagine most of you will not be seeing this movie. So the most we're going to talk about 2020's Birds of Prey is that it exists. But high level, for those of you that don't know, this most recent version of Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn pulls in Margot Robbie's titular Harley Quinn. There it is.
Nice.
From Suicide Squad, along with the likes of Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya. Did I get that right?
I couldn't tell you if you did.
Okay.
I've never heard of that. Is Renee Montoya and in any way related to the character from the Princess Bride?
It's a greater extended universe, Kyle.
You killed my father's 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 father.
That would be quite the flex. And, together they're going to fight bad guys and say cool shit and probably learn a thing or two along the way. Anyway, I don't want to talk about 2020's Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn anymore. So
you want to talk about 2002's Birds
I want to talk
about
2002's Birds of Prey.
Well, okay, all that aside, I am curious to hear how Ewan McGregor does as a bad guy. Like, that's something that I would be interested to see, but
what is he?
Obi-Wan Kenobi's the bad guy?
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the Black Mask in this movie.
I thought that isn't that the guy from Sailor Moon?
No, that's
Tuxedo Mask.
Oh, my bad.
That's very different. That's also part of the extended universe, though.
Two things. One, Tuxedo Mask is a wild name, and two, Todd, well done.
Hey, you're welcome, everyone. I've been caging up some nerdy energy from my vacation in New Zealand, so here I am.
Here he is.
I did not know Ian McGregor was attached to Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn. Which means it has at least 2 actors hitting way below their pedigree to be in this movie.
Money's a hell of a drug.
Kyle, who's the second?
I would say Margot Robbie is better than this movie.
But this is like a Margot Robbie vehicle.
I know it is.
It's a vehicle. Like it's kind of like Will Smith in what is it? Not Bicentennial Man. Not Encino Man.
In Gemini
Squad. Gemini Man. It's a vehicle. So she's not. She's the driver. This is her. This is her real work.
All right, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about it. So as Kyle alluded to, we've seen a live action adaptation of Birds of Prey once before in the past.
To be specific, we have not seen.
We as a collective society, none of us here have ever watched that show. Actually, I watched a little bit of it, and it's bonkers. Y'all should watch it when you get a chance.
How many episodes did it run, Andrew? Do you know?
Too many.
Can I introduce the thing first, please?
No.
No.
All right.
Everyone shut up.
Everybody shut up. Way back in the early 2000s, in the era of our beloved Angel and Charmed, if you guys remember those shows.
I don't.
I loved Angel.
You got it.
The CW gave us, or then what was called the WB, gave us a similarly titled series featuring a team up between Batgirl / Oracle, Huntress, which this version was said to be, I don't think this is real, but this version was apparently the daughter of Batman and Catwoman.
Nice.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's a real thing. And a telepath named Dinah Redman. Oh, great.
Why is there always a bird of prey with a very normal ass white?
Just a name. Yeah, just a name. So in this one, Dinah was like a teen that they were. She's like, she brought in the teen stuff. Dinah. I guess Dinah turned out to be.
What's your superpower? I bring in the teen
I'm
stuff.
A teen.
I'm relatable to teens.
I hate this flavor text.
I'm in a love triangle. Dinah turned out to be Black Canary's daughter, so that's the connection.
Spoiler
alert. Who is played by 2019's Lori Loughlin.
Oh man,
you remember Lori Loughlin from 2019? And Harley Quinn was actually in this as one of the end bad guys, the main antagonists, which is really funny. And she was like kind of the one behind the strings, and she was revealed in the end of season 1, which was the end of the series. Also, fun note: she's played by Mia Sara, who you may know as the girlfriend from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
What? That's ridiculous.
That's what she did after Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Waited 15 years.
That's it. To be Harley Quinn for one episode of the CW's Birds of Prey.
Wait, wow. Who did you say it was?
Mia Sara.
I thought Amy Dolenz was the girlfriend in Ferris Bueller.
Nope.
Okay.
You thought wrong.
Sorry. And also, if you haven't guessed from before, the show is not good.
I would assume no.
So, it's a little cheesy. I do recommend. There's a couple YouTube clips because I guess this is now on CW's like streaming app, which I've never heard of until a couple days ago. And they have a bunch of clips up there. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. It's just got so much of that like Evanescence era energy.
Too much eyeliner and black hair dye.
So much eyeliner and leather trench coats. So I thought it was time to help the CW out. They're clearly hurting now that Arrow is over, which I also learned recently.
Arrow's over?
Arrow's over.
Yeah.
End of an era. Yeah, series finale just wrapped like a couple weeks ago.
Was that
as
Crisis
of
on
this
Infinite
recording.
Earths? Did that kill Arrow?
I don't know.
I think
I've
it
never
did,
seen Arrow.
actually.
Yeah.
I've never seen one episode of it. So I figured they're clearly hurting for new adaptations since Netflix is running hot on Sabrina the Teenage Witch now, which I also haven't seen, but looks
That
pretty
is
good.
very good. Can confirm. I mean, I would highly
Yeah.
suggest they just dropped the third season. I haven't watched it, but or maybe it's the second. Whatever season they just dropped. It's been
Got it.
good so far.
They just
And
dropped season 3. It's very popular among the same people who like Riverdale
Yeah,
and all the other
there you
shows.
go.
Sure. And since I don't care about any of these dumb shows, and this is now officially the longest intro we've ever
Yeah,
done,
we took a long time
I-
to get here.
I pulled in my own team of C-list heroes to do the job that I don't want to do. So everyone, allow me to introduce Kyle, Men of Letters Harper, Todd, Scooby Gang Thomas, and Matt, Mars Investigations Cole.
I don't know Men of Letters. I know I know
Supernatural.
Okay. I know Scooby Gang, and I'm assuming Mars Investigations is Veronica Mars, but I don't know
It
Men
is.
of Letters. Okay.
Scooby Gang is what I repeat in the bridge of my rap song.
That's what that was. That was that reference.
What?
Mhm.
What?
Scooby Gang is what the kids call themselves in Buffy, Matt.
Oh.
This
It's-
is before your time.
Todd is alluding if he were a
Both-
DJ Khaled type
That
hype
as well.
man, he would yell
Mm-hmm.
Scooby Gang when it's his turn
Well-
to yell things.
Welcome to Let's Explain Todd's Jokes. It's a podcast within a podcast.
It's a podcast within a podcast.
All right, we need to get moving. Gentlemen, I need you to present to me your next greatest The CW adaptation. So what I want you to do is take a lesser known franchise or character and glow it up into the sexy new teen/young adult drama. So I want the following. Give me my main character or characters. Is this like a team? Is this focused on one person? And then give me the antagonist, who's the big bad pulling all the strings behind the scenes.
All right. So, my newest, best CW adaptation, following in the vein more of Riverdale, taking an old, wholesome IP and making it hot and sexy. We're going to do the Flintstones. The modern Stone Age family. And whoo boy, is it gonna be sexy? So we've got Fred and Wilma, hot 30-somethings who had kids real young.
Of course.
Their kid real young. Pebbles is now out being a high schooler. So Fred and Wilma are trying to reclaim their 20s.
Did Wilma get teen pregnant?
Oh, 100%. Which will be that'll come back up in season 2 or 3, I'm sure.
Of course it will.
Their daughter Pebbles is a junior at Bedrock High. Their lives change when the mysterious Rubble family moves next door. So
The mysterious Rubble family.
in this continuity, we're starting when the Rubbles, Barney and Betty, move in next door to Fred. So Barney, learning that Fred is a foreman at Slate Rock and Gravel, tries to befriend him, only for Fred to find out that Mr. Rubble is actually a very high, executive consultant that the Slate Rock and Gravel company brought in to downsize.
You're just describing the Flintstones movie. Wasn't that Kyle MacLachlan or whatever his name is in the Flintstones movie? The guy
Sure.
from Twin Peaks.
Sure. I mean, yes, that is what happened, but we're shuffling things around. I'm allowed to borrow things for my cheap knockoff CW show. Don't act like this is above anything CW does. Which obviously, downsizing would put Fred's job and all his friends' jobs at risk. So that's our first, our main conflict of the show is what's going to happen there. But we also have Betty Rubble, Barney's wife, the sultry executive's wife, who's already bored of this small working town. and is looking to shake things up, and is going to do that in the most CW trashy show way possible.
So she's the slut.
Yes, 100%. And we have their son, Bam Bam Rubble, this, making waves at the high school, superstar jock, super popular, super handsome.
Listen, Bam Bam is also a slut. Let's just
and just sets Pebble's heartstrings a quiver.
A quiver.
Oh, a quiver. Love it.
So that's kind of our first episode, is like watching those are our two main families. That's our main conflict, and gives you a very nice, concise summary of who our main characters are.
Kyle, can I throw a question at you just right now?
Do it.
So, we're all very familiar with the Flintstones, right? How like dinosaurs are appliances and gadgets in their everyday lives.
Yep.
So since these are like two hot 30-somethings and it's them trying to like live their best lives and reignite the love in their marriage, there's gonna be an episode about their sex life at some point. Kyle, my question for you is, what is the Flintstone version of Viagra? What
My brain went in a very similar but different direction.
Yeah,
so
I know where yours went, and I
took
took a Louis when you wanted to take a Rui. So yeah.
I'll be honest, Todd.
What sad animal?
It's a living.
I'll be honest, Todd. I don't have an answer for you.
I don't want an answer, Kyle. I think
so
it's whatever.
That'll just.
Whatever
I'll let you live in your mind space and all our listeners' mind space to be whatever they want it to be, because I didn't go there.
Well, no one. Okay,
I did a little bit of world building for this, but not that much.
Part of our job as hosts of this show is to ask the questions that our listeners are asking themselves out loud while they're listening to this podcast.
True.
So
right. How is Betty going to get her rocks off in this CW adaptation?
How many times will the joke "get my rocks off" be made?
once an episode for 5 seasons.
To a laugh track every time.
I do know.
Let's move on.
I do know. In the first 10 minutes of episode 1, a bird is going to look dead camera and be like, "This is called tweeting," and then it. Wah, wah.
Collectively, every viewer everywhere is going to groan and turn off the TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to fling my
Andrew,
TV in the trash.
Andrew,
I want someone else to go.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you know what sexy teen reboot we've all been waiting for?
No, I don't.
Yep,
Todd.
you guessed it. Dexter's Laboratory. So, okay, now I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, hey, wasn't Big Bang Theory kind of this? Well, that answer is meh. And you also may be thinking...
Yes, Big Bang Theory, known for its giant secret laboratory.
Well, and you also may be thinking... Hey, doesn't Rick and Morty kind of add some edginess to this property? And to that I say, stop interrupting me with questions. The point here is that we have a new story. You didn't ask those? Someone's asking those. So we have this new story now to follow Dexter as he's going to enter his first year at Grove University as a new, awkward, sexy teen young adult freshman. So there to guide him.
Is Dexter is sexy in this adaptation?
He's like Michael Cera nerdy sexy.
Okay, so he's sexy, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah, like there's gonna come a point where like he's gonna take his shirt off or something, and that's when people are like, "Oh."
So they did
Tom Welling in the Superman one.
They did a couple episodes of Dexter's Lab where they like jump to the future and he meets like adult Dexter.
Yeah,
he's got it going on. Like,
yeah,
what's happening in that show?
Oh, there's a lot. Okay, well, so there to guide him in his first year at this university is his older sister Deidre. She's the popular president of her sorority, but
is she 8 feet tall?
Yeah, she's just gigantic proportionally. Well, like so part of one of the initial conflicts is that, you know, Dexter anticipates that she's going to help guide him through this college experience because she's a senior and he's a freshman. But she doesn't, because she's frustratingly way more popular than Dex. He tries to go by Dex for a while. It's a whole episode. It doesn't work out. It's kind of like where everyone else in their freshman year does like a facial hair experiment. He does a like, this is what you call me now experiment.
Except he went to college with everyone from high school, so no one does it.
Well, apparently I would think the hometown for Dexter's laboratory is Genius Grove. So yeah, he's in his own. He's Grove University is in Genius Grove.
Which that is exactly season 3 of Veronica Mars.
Jesus Christ!
Good Lord.
Every story has been told before.
Yep.
Okay, so as with all good stories, the first season's main conflict begins when Dexter, who is Grove University's hand-selected recipient of the highly regarded Provost Premier Scholarship, meets his roommate, S. Mandark Estromanov. So that is the person that he beat for that scholarship. If you aren't familiar with Dexter's laboratory, Mandark is like his big.
Todd, do a Mandark laugh. Do a Mandark laugh right now.
Ha 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 ha!
That's really good.
I hear it in my mind before I even say it.
Are we to believe Dexter and Mandark have not met in this continuity?
Yeah, in this continuity, we're gonna say no. That just makes sense more.
So this is like Mike Wazowski and Randall from Monsters University.
Yeah, it completely rewrites everything that you've known. But Mandark is the person that he beat for that scholarship. So what unfolds is this fierce rivalry. As the chief, like season 1 big bad, Mandark kind of keeps us on the edge of our seats as they, you know, butt heads back and forth. And to really set the tone for this show, this is going to be like a deep pull. Do any of you 3 remember MTV's TV show Undressed?
No.
It's
vaguely.
It means you had a more wholesome childhood than I did if you don't. So Undressed was about college students, and it ran for like 3 years, and it was effectively just softcore porn on MTV that came on after like 10:30 p.m. Anyway, that's what this is, only with science. So the point being is that to sum this all up, Dexter is now a freshman in college, and we're turning the Bunsen burner on science and sexiness up.
Nope.
No, like that.
We're definitely
it's a bad tagline. Run up on your marketing people again.
That's what's going on the DVD cover that no one's buying.
I'm glad that Kyle had the bird looking at the screen saying, "Looks like we're tweeting" or whatever, and I had this because everyone needs that groan. That's a quote.
That's
everyone needs that groan. That's your tagline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, great. I guess next is Matt.
Yeah, I'm next. I'm so excited. Oh man, I'm so excited. Okay, so this whole giant show and tell thing, a little bit out of our video game comic book MO. So to compensate for this, I wanted to pick a franchise that produced comics for Marvel and DC, and also has arguably the best Sega Genesis game of all time, and I will not be taking questions or rebuttals to that statement. While it's not exactly lesser known, it's absolutely been underserviced for the last 15 years. Let's talk about Power Rangers. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is everyone as excited as I am?
I'm not
Well,
ready for
there's no good or deep or convoluted source material for this topic, so I can't wait to see what you've come up with.
Okay, so what I've come up with is not a lot of things. First off, it's not a new American localization of this year's Super Sentai show. It's not a continuation of that god-awful abomination of a movie from 2017, and it's not even that gritty fan film from 2015 that got all of our nostalgia dongs really, really hard. This is...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. This is Rangers, the new post-World War III wasteland tale that follows Kim Hart, a real Sarah Connor type who's seen more war than she has peace.
God.
He's still going.
Oh, I wrote a script. I'm playing Andrew this week. I wrote a script, and I'm excited to read it. In the wake of Operation Z, Kim is pursuing her last hope, a distress beacon from Angel Grove, California. She's been hiding for nearly 10 years and hasn't heard a word from the others. The communication from Angel Grove is the first sign of life across the divide that she's heard since the fall.
Well, wait. Okay. Time out. I have to process it. Okay. I love
You put in the
I
same
love-
sentence two
Oh, it's so good.
proper nouns
Yes,
That mean nothing.
yes,
Oh,
that
it's
mean
so good.
nothing.
yes, guys. This is
You've just written 100 robots watched 1,000 sci-fi teen dramas, and this is what they
that's
wrote.
what you asked for, right? This is a CW
Yeah.
show. I thought you wanted bot generated content.
No, it's really
Okay,
good.
so I'm.
Is this what it feels like when I do
Yes,
this, guys?
this is it. This is exactly it. Prepare,
Yeah, that's accurate.
prepare to be force fed your own drug. We open in a dark cave somewhere in the desert. We see quick flashbacks of war, a battle with huge machines and bodies everywhere. Between flashbacks, we cut to a tight shot of a woman clearly having a nightmare. Ships keep landing on the coast, everyone with a hammer and sickle emblazoned on the prow. The enemy soldiers look like men, but they have no substance. It's like they've all had their distinguishable features erased, and now they're just empty templates of soldiers. We see the silhouette of our first Power Ranger. A blue figure stands atop a hill being swarmed by soldiers. He's visible only for an instant before he's swallowed by flailing bodies. The woman whispers Billy. Another flashback. We see a huge machine that resembles a mastodon topple over. Zack, she whispers. A massive tiger-like creature rears back with its teeth bared, but it's overwhelmed by a machine of equal size. Trini, the woman says. In a final flashback, we see the Red Ranger taking on a faceless soldier from every angle. Another silhouette of a ranger appears beside him. The second ranger suddenly turns to the first, pulls out a dagger, and rears to stab him. The woman wakes up. Kim gets the distress call from Angel Grove, the first
Oh my
communication
God.
she's gotten from west of the Divide in nearly 10 years. She decides to head in that direction, and we see her load up a small backpack with what is clearly all of her belongings. Mounting an old faded pink dirt bike, she leaves the cave behind in a cloud of dust. With nothing but the wasteland behind her, Kim heads to Angel Grove in search of hope and revenge. The hope of salvation for her old friend Tommy, and her final revenge against the repulsion force who has taken over the country. Slow pan out to the wide shot, and we see the Grand Canyon, now called the Divide. It looks different, devoid of color and beauty, and in a word, ruined. In the distance, we can see a large black outline against the brown rock. What's left of the pterodactyl Zord lays a mangled wreck in its final resting place. As the small speck we know as Kim rides out of frame, the title fades in. Rangers. A crack in the shape of a lightning bolt separates the word in two. Scene.
Of course.
I have a few things.
All right, Kyle, let's do it.
Really? Do you?
One, I stopped listening after in between flashbacks. Two, I'm not convinced Matt's not just reading his senior year creative writing assignment to us. Three, I hate it. All right.
I mean, I share everything that Kyle said. I've only got one bit to add. Ironically, maybe that's the word. I don't know if that's the word I want, but here's a fact. Tommy, whose name in real life is Jason, the OG Green Ranger, he was in MTV's softcore porn late 90s show Undressed.
My
So,
favorite
we're
soft
weird.
porn.
You know,
we're combining extended universes again.
Jason David Frank has done some interesting things, but I didn't know that he was in MTV's softcore porn late night show Undressed.
That's fun.
TIO.
Okay, so I think the one thing that really resonates with me, and unfortunately the people listening can't see our show notes, but Matt has written out Kim Hart as KYM. And it's really resonating with me that Kim is spelled with a Y in this to show that it's edgy.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows that Ys are significantly edgier than Is.
And
Yeah,
and
because-
they'll highlight that in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like she'll
there's-
pick up a name tag with her name on it and like
Right.
clearly
There's
showing-
characterization there that isn't allotted for a normie KIM.
There will be at least one conversation where someone says Kimberly, and she looks at them darkly over her shoulder and says, "It's Kim now."
Yeah, okay, gross. All right, let's move on.
I'm mad.
So
I'm upset.
It's really good.
Okay, so it's something. Buffy had let's move on. So Buffy had Angel and Spike. Riverdale's Archie has Betty and Veronica. Smallville's Clark Kent had the 2 girls from that sex cult.
That's really good. That's hilarious.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is every good CW drama needs a thriving love triangle and or sex cult to give the characters a healthy balance of depression and horniness. So
You're right.
Just like The Witcher.
What does your classic sexy teen love triangle look like, and how will it maintain the sexual tension to keep what people watching week after week? The trick is they never do it. They never bang.
So Andrew, in Flintstones, the modern Stone Age family, it's just love triangles all the way down. Fred is trying to keep his marriage together with Wilma, but is also like getting the eyes from Betty.
Sure.
Bam Bam and Pebbles make this like high school power couple, but Bam Bam's running around on her with everyone in the school.
He's the bad boy that she can't quit.
Exactly. Pebbles, heartbroken, finds comfort in the arms of Barney,
No.
Bam Bam's father.
No. Oh God.
I hate that.
Look, Riverdale. None of you guys have watched Riverdale.
No.
It not only goes there, but now we've got to like up the ante from that. And Game of Thrones and Riverdale made incest to passe, so we gotta find a new angle.
Is that what the critics are saying?
like it.
Who thinks this? Who thinks that?
What? Everyone, Andrew.
Ugh. This whole
The
thing is
TV
just
watching
like
public.
It's a weird stepdad swapping daughters porn, and I hate it.
I hate to say this, but Todd, please give us a less hornier answer.
Yeah, actually, mine is a good deal less horny, yet still horny. Andrew, you're asking for a love triangle. Try a love quadrifolium,
Shut
my
up.
friend.
Todd, what's a quadrifolium?
Yeah, you're gonna have to Google it. It's like it's on a graph. If like the arc of the line you've drawn doubles back in on itself.
Is folium an F or a PH?
It's an F, and it looks like the command symbol. Actually, the command symbol on an Apple computer is a quadrifolium.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Talking Tungsten with Todd Thomas.
There you go. So anyway, there's a love quadrifolium going on over here in the honors dorms of Grove U. So Dexter, right? He's got the hots for his advanced chemistry TA, Lisa, which you would know as his former babysitter from growing up. Because everyone is from the same town and I've got like 20 characters to choose from. However, this is going to fall in direct conflict with Mandark because Mandark also wants her attention because she's the only woman in this episode, I guess, where she's introduced. I don't know. So in this conflict, though, this is where things really kick off because Mandark is known as, his full name is S. Mandark, Astromonov. So one day, Dexter finds out that S and S Mandark stands for Susan, and he tells everyone in class, and that is actually canonical. The S stands for Susan.
Yeah.
Susan, I'm not sure why.
Is his last
I
name
vaguely
really
remember that.
like Astromonov in the...
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Weird.
His dad has a badass name too. I looked it up and I can't remember it now, but I'll come back to that later.
Isn't the joke like his parents are like Russian cosmonauts or something?
Yeah, it is
And
exactly that.
And he like underwent, like they spent his whole childhood like perfectly plotting him to follow this like super scientific path, which is why he's so pissy that Dexter's smarter than him all the time. It's a whole thing. I watched a lot of Dexter's Lab. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's basically Rocky. It's Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Rocky
Anyway,
IV.
the point being that at some point Dexter is going to reveal that his first name is Susan to try and make Lisa like him more, and everyone's going to laugh and find it really funny. But that's really only because Dexter, being a freshman in the sciences, has really yet to take any course that has challenged his own bias and what he is bringing to university to think that it is funny to make fun of someone's name just because it might be more feminine. So none of them are critical thinkers yet. And also, none of those people bang. So furthermore, Dexter is also going to find himself in this three-pointed love shape with Penny and Alice, 2 roommates and members of his sister's sorority, which leads to some zany stories of him sneaking around to not let the other one know. Now,
good.
You might be asking, who are Penny and Alice? Well,
I am asking that.
They
Tom.
are.
I've never asked that.
I know. I'm asking for the audience because they themselves are saying who Penny and Alice. You would more likely know them as the 2 girls from the Big Cheese episode, more likely known as the Omelette du fromage episode.
That is a classic.
The single greatest episode of television ever.
Furthermore, to drive the point home, none of them ever bang due to comical timing of always sneaking around.
Sure.
It's a lot of oh, I didn't get to meet your boyfriend yet because he had to leave really quickly. Maybe someday you'll meet my boyfriend, and it's just a lot of fun, right? We're having a lot of
classic Flintstones episode.
Yeah. But I think the most important love straight line is that Dexter finds a platonic friendship that turns romantic with his lab partner, a redhead named Blossom. They have yet to bang.
Okay.
Is that Blossom?
I see what you have served up for yourself, and I know that you intend to spike it, and I hope that you miss. I want it to.
I have a question / request for you, Todd. Before we move on, can you set at least one scene in a collegiate level French class so the omelette du fromage reference can naturally come up?
I feel like as much as I want it to be a throwaway, like it's a single line thing, like they walk into French 1000 and it's up on the board or it's the first thing they write. As much as I want that, I more want a full episode where it's just what they already did, done again, just with a 2020 skin over it.
Good.
I really like this. All right, Matt, let's hear something that we're not gonna like.
The bias, the fucking bias. All right. When Kim makes her way back to Angel Grove, she is met at the outskirts of the city by Zach Taylor and Trini Kwan. If you guys don't know the names, Kim obviously is the Pink Ranger, Zach is the Black Ranger, and Trini is the Yellow Ranger. The 3 embrace and exchange eyes that lend to being way more than friends. Through some more assorted flashbacks and some good old-fashioned exposition, we learned that Kim had a fling with Zach early in high school that Zach never really got over. Later in high school and up until the fall, Kim and Trini had been...
Wait, the capital F fall or just the fall is in the season?
The capital F fall. I forgot to capitalize it in the notes, but I fixed that. Kim and Trini had been romantically involved, but Zach's kind of dumb and never really put 2 and 2 together. So that's main character love triangle that you'll get all the drama from. But my whole idea here is that it all revolves around like the 3 older Rangers finding themselves a new team of young teenagers with attitude, which is what Zordon searched for Power Rangers. It's a real quote. And training them as a guerrilla fighting force, and this rotating group of younglings just bone constantly. Like, it's just always sexy teen love drama amongst the new Rangers.
I think the idea of a large bald man saying I'm looking for teenagers with attitude has not aged well.
No, it absolutely hasn't. I mean, if you watch those first 8 seasons of Power Rangers, plenty of things didn't age well. Take your pick. I don't know. Maybe the fact that the Yellow Ranger was the Asian girl and the Black Ranger was the African American guy. Maybe that's not the best thing.
Yeah, that probably could have been done better.
Teenagers with attitude definitely hits the ear a little differently in 2020 than it did in 1995.
Yeah.
To put a bookend on Mandark's parents, his parents are actually hippies. I forgot this from the episode. Yeah. It's his mother's name is Ocean Bird and his dad's name is Wind Bear.
That's right.
Wow. And speaking of things that probably aged a little poorly.
And the daughter's name is Lala Vava.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that didn't land great. But the deeper story is that Wind Bear and Wind Bear's dad is just named Dad. they butted heads over how they, I guess, wanted Mandark to be raised or something. I don't know. There's some deep lore in Dexter out there, so Dexter fans, get at me.
Todd clearly didn't do the same level of research Matt did on the Power Rangers.
Listen, I thought Mandark had like one dimension, and here there's two at least.
All right. Well, we've got our protagonists, we've got our villains, we've got our will they, won't they. Basically, that means all the elements are here for season 1. So we really just need to cap this off. Give me an ending. Because as we all know, the only real important episodes are the pilot and the last episodes of season 1. Everything else is just filler, monster of the week nonsense. So our last episode of season 1, as you guys probably know, this is what leads into season 2 by revealing there was an even bigger bad who is actually behind everything and will be an even bigger threat next semester / next school year. So give me your final episode twist and how it's going to tighten the pressure on your sexy teen leads.
All right, so in Modern Stone Age Family, we are taking another page out of Riverdale, and just like season 1 is its own story, and season 2 just like launches off the crazy of season 1 and goes even crazier. So season 1, the events of season 1 unfold. Fred and Barney like make up, become friends, save Slate, Rock, and Gravel, find solace in their marriage, and or are just kind of like swingers now. We haven't decided where that's going yet.
Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
They set their kids on the straight and narrow. But they're best friends now. Like they're the friends we know from the original Flintstones. It's their like kind of their origin story. They're hanging out. They're going to water buffalo meetings. They're bowling on Thursday nights. They're great now. So as the sun sets on Bedrock in season 1, we see a red blinking light on the rock face of Fred Flintstone's turned off TV screen. And we pan around and see all these red blinking lights just kind of sparkling the Flintstone household. And we kind of go through the city of Bedrock and see these hidden cameras built into the whole like landscape of the city. And the camera pulls out and we see the Flintstone living room on display to a live studio audience. A very like tall.
Are you Truman showing them?
Tall, slick-looking gentleman in an all green like 3-piece suit walks out in front of the audience and says, "Well, friends, that was quite the show. Check in next season to see what we have in store for the sleepy town of Bedrock. We promise you won't want to miss it. And this is the Great Gazoo signing off." Roll credits.
What a
Very
deep
good.
pull.
What the fuck is the matter with the Great Gazoo?
Exactly.
What is the Great Gazoo and why does it exist?
Did we ever get that explanation? I mean, maybe.
There is no explanation. The Great Gazoo also appears in the Jetsons, or like a Jetsons movie. So there's like credence to this theory that the Jetsons destroyed Earth. And
well, they did a crossover movie.
Yeah. So like Great Gazoo really just like as Flintstones was happening, the like space race and like sci-fi all super took off. And Hanna-Barbera was like, well, how are we going to appeal to these kids who love aliens and sci-fi now? I know. We'll shoehorn an obnoxious green alien into our wholesome family cartoon. And there it is. And yes, Andrew, we're the big reveal is that the Truman Show / like what is it? The Giver, The Gift, whatever that book was, where the Village, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village.
You just said a lot of books that are all really different. The Village and The Giver are very different books.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Giver did that too. Well, it was like there was like a secret like facility under the ground or something. I forget.
That
movie was not good.
The twist of The Village is that like it's an isolated village set in the 1600s for some reason, and someone escapes and it's bad. I don't know. That's the twist here, except it's also the Great Gazoo.
The twist is that it isn't. It's a utopian society in like 1994.
Yeah. Something
Guys,
stupid.
Spoilers.
That's
Come on.
That's the twist
Okay.
here. Spoilers for
You're
what?
gonna go
I
see-
named like 3
You're gonna go
things.
see
and didn't
2004's The Village.
M. Night Shyamalan would be so disappointed.
Ugh. Okay.
I've never seen The Village. I just know how bad it is.
It's really
So
not
we've
that
got
bad. It's
we've
kinda
got Fred and we've got Fred and Barney as 2 crazy guys just happy and horny out on the town.
Yep.
That's kind of fun. Todd, what are we gonna see with our I am assuming a crossover.
What? Stop. Wait. Anyway, so it's nearing the end of freshman year at Grove University, and Dexter has had a mostly successful year, right? So he's fended off Mandark as top of the class. He's avoided mostly being embarrassed by Deidre. And he's realized that his TA Lisa is 100% out of his league, to the point that he has given up after she went on a date with Mandark. So the dating of 2 women thing also goes really bad, Obvi. But we, as the consumers of this show, love watching that fall apart. So it's not until the end of the episode where he's talking to his close friend-relationship person, the redheaded Blossom, who we as the audience love because she's just really great. She's sarcastic. She's just awesome to experience on the screen.
Does she have inhumanly large eyes?
She does. She has very large eyes. But it is in that moment when they're having this kind of like end of the year talk where he's telling her about how he's been personally invited to meet with the provost as an award for being the student with the best grades for the year. So as Blossom and Dexter kind of share this will they, won't they moment that ends with their first awkward but very rewarding kiss, Dexter walks across campus as Blossom says she's off to go hang out with her sisters. So we experience this internal monologue where Dexter's kind of like rewinding his school year over the successes and failures. But, you know, he decides, hey, life is really great and it can only get better.
Is this a Zach Braff style like inner monologue?
Yep,
wrapping
absolutely.
everything up.
Yep. And so it is in that moment that we see him walking into the main academic building on campus. And as he walks through the brick halls, we see him disappear into a door that closes as the last shot shows. There's a plaque on the door that reads, Grove University Provost, Dr. Mo J. Jojo, PhD.
Todd, I have a question.
Please.
What's a provost?
Well, Kyle, time out real quick. So, short answer, they're the chief academic officer. The second thing I want to address, out of all the questions that could be asked in this podcast that we ever experience, if someone prompts you with oh, I've got a question for you, I imagine like anything's coming next, you know? Like, what's a provost? Not the one that I expected.
That's what I'm here for, Todd. Throwing curveballs.
That's what we call that a curveball in the biz. Yeah, the chief academic officer is the provost.
Okay. Good. I'm glad to know that.
You're welcome.
We all learned something today. That's kind of fun.
I have a follow-up question. Is Dr.
They report to the president, yes.
Is Dr. Mo J. Jojo an ape with exposed brain?
How much monkey is this provost?
Wait, Kyle, you'll have to wait until season 2 to find out.
Yeah, they're waiting until season 2 gets picked up to even cast that part. Kyle, you know how this works.
Right. We have to spend 4 months yelling about it on the subreddit first.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I understand now.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Oh boy, do I got it. Okay.
I'm ready.
So season 1 ends with a final face-off. A war has waged for like 2 full episodes.
Which is like
forever.
Years in CW
the repulsion
time.
force has suffered massive casualties, but the Rangers have as well, and they have far fewer to lose. The last 5 Rangers hold the front line at their small base outside of Angel Grove as a repulsion infantry descends upon them, led by none other than General Tommy Oliver himself. Kim, Zach, and Trini are faced with a choice. Do they recall their troops and surrender, or do they let these 5 teenagers die for nothing like their 2 best friends did 10 years ago? Kim decides to take a stand and leaves the base to hold the line with the young Rangers. Trini follows behind her, and Zach isn't too far behind. General Tommy Oliver walks in front of the infantry up to Kim. Kim has saved Tommy before, although she's not sure what she's saving him from now. He's been leading these forces since the fall, and it seems to be completely of his own volition. As the two have a tense moment of exposition, a ghostly flute song begins to sound from the distance. Come on, I'm almost there. And a white arrow flies past Kim's shoulder, hitting General Oliver right in the eye. He melts away into nothing as the real Tommy Oliver comes from behind the base, seemingly out of nowhere. With their general dead, the rest of the Repulsion fleet retreats, vowing to return in Season 2 for more plot. Tommy explains that the real threat is the leader of the Repulsion force. He has only seen her in Southern California a few times, but he knows the grunts refer to her as Comrade Commander Rita.
Yep.
There it is. I just wanna throw out that "come on, I'm almost there" could have referred to a lot of different things.
Commander.
It said no less than 3 times in the duration of the show.
Commander Rita is my favorite summer drink.
Well done. Very good.
Yep, I like it. I like it.
It's someone's attempt to battle it with Natter Days in summer
Comrade
2020.
Commander Rita.
I'm still
It's like the manly version of the Lime-A-Rita. Like it's like back when Busch Light used to put camouflage on their beer cans.
Yes.
This is Lime-A-Rita with camouflage and like truck tires.
A pounder
on
of Lime-A-Rita wrapped in an American flag.
I'm still not convinced Matt didn't just find like a CW show Mad Libs and fill it out with his own verbs and adverbs.
What he had described is the CW's The 100. Featuring most of the actors from the Battlestar Galactica series from
honestly, like what I was.
That is exactly like 100, like almost to a T, like what you described as the 100.
So okay, first off, we've said before there are really only like 3 storylines in all of television.
Yes, you're
what I was
absolutely
going
right.
for was more of like Red Dawn, which I know none of you guys have seen, but
It's that same. It's like the Divergent, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, like
it's like
kind of style.
It's
Yeah.
the bad guys won, and the last few grizzled good guys have one fight left in them, and so they gotta.
A bunch of teens have to save.
Yeah,
the
they
world
gotta
from the
rally
apocalypse.
some sexy teens to fight the bad guys who have already won the war once. Yeah, that's it.
If our world ever ends, if we run out of sexy teens, I don't know what we're gonna do.
They're the most valuable resource we have.
What's the export rate on sexy teens?
All right, guys, we're going to do our super secret bonus question. So I'll read it off real quick. So we talked about, getting into season 2, we talked about escalating to the big bad. That said, your show is doing really well, surprise. And the network needs another new property. And obviously we don't have any time to build something new, so we're doing a spin-off.
Jesus. Oh no.
Yeah.
And since it worked well for shows like Angel, and I literally cannot cite a second show that was a successful spinoff. Pitch for me the spinoff series that will inevitably fail after 7 episodes, and we will do so right after the break.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Matt here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Torg Gaming Expo. The 2020 Torg Gaming Expo is happening Saturday, May 30th at the Super Kick Columbus Indoor Soccer Arena in Lewis Center, Ohio. Lewis Center is like Columbus adjacent. It's just a little bit north. There's going to be a ton of stuff going on there. They'll have video games, toys, comic book vendors. They'll also have door prizes, arcades, art setup, different special guests and panels and video game tournaments and cosplay and the whole 9. It's going to be an awesome expo and one of the best gaming events in Central Ohio. It's definitely worth coming out to because not only do you get this awesome video game expo, you can also witness the Classic Tetris World Championship Midwest qualifiers, which is amazing. If you missed the Weird Tetris episode episode we did a couple of weeks ago. Oh man, is Andrew really into Tetris now? And oh man, is he really excited for this Midwest qualifiers? So I'm sure we're going to shut the Debate This table down for a hot second so we can go watch people play Tetris. Speaking of the Debate This table, we will be there as a vendor this year, and we'd really love to see everybody. But if you would like to be a vendor with us, there are still tables available for vendors, and there are spots available for sponsors as well. So if you are interested in helping out with the event, but not necessarily being on hand that day, you can get information about sponsorship and also information about being a vendor at their website, which is torgevents.com. This whole thing is presented by the Canned Air podcast, which is the podcast that Randy is from, and also gave us a shout out on their last episode. So thank you again to those guys. And Randy, thanks for being on the episode this week. If you like anything comic books, nerd culture, video games, pop culture, Canned Air is the podcast for you. They are an awesome, like, morning zoo style show just about pop culture, which is great. And I love it. Anyway, that's Canned Air. Check them out. But the Torg convention, you can check out at torgevents.com. Again, it's Saturday, May 30th at the Super Kick Columbus Indoor Soccer Arena in Lewis Center, Ohio. GA tickets are just $10. torgevents.com. Back to me and the episode.
All right, welcome back. Our super secret bonus question, just as a quick reminder, we are looking for the next spinoff for each of your latest and greatest CW franchises. So we will start with Kyle.
Yeah, so we have our Act 1 finale big twist, revealing that the Simpsons is, or not the Simpsons, the Flintstones is weirdly this Truman Show-esque entertainment for some much more advanced civilization, hosted by the Great Gazoo. What season 2 will introduce and realize a little more fully is one such viewer of the show, maybe very closely related, because it will turn out that the Flintstones show is very heavily sponsored by Spacely Sprockets, which will walk a very long path to tie into another sexy CW show, The Jetsons. And starring George Jetson, his boy Elroy, daughter Judy, Jane his wife, and their robot maid Rosie. And it's gonna be just as garbage, trashy sexiness as the Flintstones was. And I know you're all asking it. Yes.
Does Rosie have big cans?
Rosie is a sexy fembot in this continuity.
I'm glad we were both there.
I don't. Wow.
I gotta give credit to the Jetsons for having a slapping theme song, because you read through those characters, and the Jetsons came out 30 years before I was born, and it immediately started singing the theme song.
Yeah. That's
my quick research while on the break was that the Jetsons theme actually charted in 1986.
In 1986?
That's wild.
24 years after the Jetsons premiered, it charted. Oh my god!
That's absolutely wild.
That's incredible.
Oh, you know why? You know why? Because that was the Jetsons movie.
Yeah.
Because they did a movie.
Mm.
Wow.
So there it is.
Huh.
That's our spinoff, The Jetsons.
Okay. I love it. Todd, what's our spinoff for Dexter's Lab?
Yeah, so as a gen ed course in his freshman year, Dexter had to take child psychology. So in that, he, as part of one of the projects that he was given, he had to design, basically, he had to come up with a proposal of the best way to teach kids communication styles. So in a panic, he built a very involved PowerPoint presentation over how puppets are a perfect medium for communicating with small children. Since this is obviously a very bad idea, but he delivered it very well, it backfired and his project was selected as the top project. So, the spin-off of Grove University follows the bad short stories that Dexter writes for his new puppet pals, Mitch and Clem.
Oh my god, that was such a long walk. I did not know where you were going.
I didn't either.
that often
Yeah.
don't have any actual moral to their stories and always ends with one puppet bonking the other one with a foam baseball bat.
Okay, real talk though. Do you guys remember? So when we talked that day, we talked about Guitar Hero, and like all of our brains like simultaneously like dislodged all of this like all of these memories. This is what would happen to me when every time you talk about Dexter's Lab, like all of these things just come rushing back. Like the floodgates are like I have not thought about Mitch or what is it, Puppet Pals with Mitch and Clem in years.
Hey, Puppet Pal Clem, can you guess what my favorite kind of horse is? A Clydesdale? Nope. A bucking bonko. And then he hits him with the thing and it goes and so like the best part about it is I forgot that this was a show within a show within a show. Like it was Dexter's Laboratory, but this was for the Justice Friends. And it would be the show that Crunk or what is it his name was? Crunk, his name was Crunk. It was the show that Crunk would
Crunk, Van Halen, and
Valhalla in major glory, because no one's getting sued here.
Major glory. Todd, we would have also accepted Dial M for Monkey.
Dial M for Monkey. I was just gonna say that one. Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna ultimately be like that's gonna end up being some tragic connection to Mojo Jojo in the end.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, planning. That's like a season 3 thing, though.
All right. Thank you for those memories, Todd. All right, Matt. How are we spinning off?
Oh
Rangers?
boy. Well, so obviously the big season 1 finale reveal is that Tommy Oliver has not been the general of the Repulsion Force the whole time, and so there's 10 unaccounted years after the fall. The last thing we saw of Tommy Oliver was him stabbing Jason Lee Scott in the back and running off as the Green Ranger. And so we're gonna get that spin-off series of what has Tommy Oliver been doing for the last 10 years.
Of course.
And it's going to be a good old-fashioned spy drama of him living on the outskirts like some sort of crazy rogue of Angel Grove. But there's a putty who is in his likeness, who's leading the force, and so he's going to sneak into buildings because he looks like the general, but he's not the general, he's the Green Ranger. And it's probably going to be called like the Green Ranger Files or something. I don't know. I didn't have a good long walk to the park like the other two did.
Matt, you've got like 20 years of good spin-off names to pull from.
Yeah.
Like, you could just make it the Rangers Turbo or the Rangers Samurai.
Like, now he's
Samurai Sword or whatever.
Green Ranger, but ninja. Green Ranger, but car. Green Ranger, but space. Like, it's literally possibilities are endless.
That, but like, I'm trying to create a new cohesive continuity. Like, I'm not
sure. No, I appreciate that.
Why?
You're going more in like you're doing more like a Fear the Walking Dead kind of thing, where you want to show like the fall, the capital F fall.
Wish
Is that what I'm hearing?
that you had not brought up Fear the Walking Dead and tied me to that. But yeah, I guess.
I just realized that if we're ever playing Kings again, one of the categories could be iterations of Power Rangers, and you would never know. You wouldn't know who was actually wrong.
Right. You could just start making up some crazy shit. All right, guys. Let's do some closing statements. Get this thing wrapped up.
So Andrew, we are trying to make the next like sexy CW drama, and while the other two might have brought good shows, I brought the sexiest show, and I think that needs to count for something.
It does need to count for something. You're right.
That's all I got.
Andrew, I'm going to keep this pretty easy for you. This is an easy transition. It's going to be very, very good. Not only do we get sexy, awkward Dexter, and we're going to get this cool crossover universe. If you buy into seasons 2 and 3 of this Dexter's Lab build, I promise you, since we're crossing over with the Powerpuff Girls universe, eventually you're going to get a phys ed teacher named Fuzzy Lumpkins. And that is what we want more than anything else here, my man.
Todd's just promising you the next like 4-night like super crossover show, like the DC universe on.
All
CW.
I want to do is go eat a bag of Doritos and watch Dexter's Lab for like the rest of the night. That is all I want to do right now.
Just you wait until we get to the head conduct officer. A curious character who goes only by the title him.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Boy.
Oh man, when that episode when he basically created hell,
Yeah.
like kind of
was-
messed up.
It was
Dude,
heavy.
Early 2000s Cartoon Network let a lot of shit
They-
slide.
Got away with so much. Yeah,
So-
it was just a like a playground for aspiring artists.
You guys know Dexter's Lab is created by the same guy who made Samurai
Yeah.
Jack, right?
Samurai Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ginny something. Yep.
Andy Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
I will absolutely murder the name if I try.
Matt,
I fed a bot 26 seasons of Power Rangers, and then I fed that bot 20 years of WB/CW content. That bot was me. I wrote a script. Like it, please. Thanks.
fantastic. All right, let's do some good vibes. I think Matt needs some words of encouragement.
So yeah, Todd, you turned Dexter's Lab into a sexy college drama, which was the assignment, and it's very good. I definitely like the like early inclusion of the Powerpuff Girls, and I think you actually somehow did a show. So good. And Matt, you did a lot of work. You worked very hard, and I wish I cared more about Power Rangers, but I was not allowed to watch the Power Rangers growing up, so I know nothing of what you were talking about. It was all nonsense nouns and verbs to me, but you certainly
I'm sorry, bud.
you certainly worked hard,
I am-
and I'm proud of you.
I think Kyle needs some
I
words of
am more
encouragement.
sad
knowing that.
that you have never seen Power Rangers than I am that I'm not going to win this week.
Oh, I mean, I saw it when I was older, but like 5-year-old to 8-year-old Kyle was not allowed to watch Power Rangers, which would have been the perfect time for me to watch it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, yours was very sexy and perhaps too sexy.
was that not the assignment?
When we got into this, I was really expecting that you were both going to take properties that I thoroughly enjoyed as a child and just like tear them apart before my eyes, and you did that, but in all the right ways that we were told to do it. The weird love triangle. I don't know if it's a triangle. There's a lot of love going on in yours. A lot of people loving each other. And I think
living.
I can't wait and also dread the moment that that Fred looks at the screen and says, "Oh, I'm glad I got my rocks off," because it'll feel gross. Matt,
if you don't feel like you need to take a shower after watching that episode, we didn't do our job.
Yeah, I feel like yours is actually the episodes are gonna end making you feel like you've just watched an episode of Shameless.
Yeah.
Where everything is like sweaty and hurried and gross.
Yep.
Matt, I actually did appreciate all of the work that you did. Because I watched a lot of Power Rangers. And it wasn't that long ago. I think I went back, in the past 5 or 8 years and was like, oh, they're still doing it. Like it's still happening. I had also watched a thing a while ago that explained kind of what you had, where like they weren't recorded together. Like they would basically just get the clips of the fights and they'd be like, well, I guess that's what we have to work with to write a story.
It's crazy.
I guess.
It's like I can't imagine walking into a writer's room every day and being like, all right, here's the choreography for the week, write a story about it. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically like writing a reality show. You just let the footage write the story instead of the other way around.
But I did not see the 2017, whenever it was, Power Rangers
2017.
movie. I don't know. Did anyone here? Did we answer that question?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
I think it was just
because I heard it wasn't good, and that's a shame because, like you, when I saw that like bootleg clip, I was also excited for a good reboot. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. But it sounds like you did a better job than they did.
I actually feel bad for you about that, Matt, because I was told this 2017 Power Rangers movie was good if you were a fan of Power Rangers, and I was like, not a show I watched growing up. I can skip it, and I'm really like bummed for you that it was not that, and it was actually just bad for everyone.
And like I don't know, I when I was 9 was like a diehard Power Rangers fan. And now I don't even know that I would go far enough to call myself a dirty casual until 48 hours ago when I started prepping for this episode. Like, it's like I said earlier, Power Rangers is one of those things that every time it's reintroduced into my life, I'm reminded of how much I loved it as a kid. But then, like, you know, you watch any of the new stuff and you're like, man, 8-year-old Matt would still be into this, but 27-year-old Matt is not sure. Like the 20-year anniversary of Power Rangers, or 25-year, I'm sorry, in 2018, the end of that season, which I think was like Neo Force or something like that, they got every Power Ranger ever, all the actors that are still alive, to come back and fight like one big battle. And I watched it. It was crazy. It was like 50 people. I watched it the other day when I was prepping for this. It's like a 25-minute clip, and like it was cool. It was awesome. I was like, man, fucking Tommy and Jason and Kimberly, this is so cool.
Is it just 25 minutes of each person going, Red Ranger, more?
That is,
Red Ranger. It's like
11 of the 25 minutes.
I cannot believe they expended the budget to get all of those actors back. Because that very much had to have cut into the...
Okay, but what are a lot of those people doing anymore?
I mean, some of the people, like the OG ones, like they've got careers. I mean,
they
Amy
left
Jo
the
Johnson,
show for a reason.
And
Amy Jo Johnson was in something, like she was in like a she does like Lifetime movies.
Jason David Frank is an MMA fighter. Like he's he is still the Green Ranger, which is fucking so cool.
Both he and Zordon were featured on Canned Air.
Yeah.
Canned Air. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my turn for good vibes. Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah.
Good job, man. I that was cool. I enjoyed it. When we got this prompt and it was make a sexy teen / young adult drama, I focused on the words young adult and you focused on the words sexy teen. And that took us in different directions this week. Little good bad sandwich action here. I hated everybody you made Pebbles sleep with. That made me really uncomfortable and gross.
As it should.
The good bread on the other side of that bad sandwich is the Great Gazoo Truman Show reveal is excellent. Big fan. Yeah. Todd, like everyone else I went to college with, I also had that weird phase where I watched Greek on Netflix twice. And it was cool to see another college drama, but with names that I know. I loved Dexter's Lab, like easily one of my favorite cartoons of my childhood. And I still I quote Dexter's Lab every once in a while. Often it's omelette du fromage. Sometimes it's something else, but usually it's cheese omelet. And I'm glad that came back, because that was the one box. I was like, man, if Todd doesn't drop a cheese omelet joke here, we're not getting anywhere. But you did.
Yep.
I'm glad you pointed out that Todd ripped off Greek, because that was a show that everyone in my house in college watched but me, and I would not have gotten that was what Todd was doing. So thank you.
I accidentally did that. I wanted to say the equation has been followed by many people, but I do remember that show now that you brought it up.
I mean, it's like everybody's in college in between sophomore and junior year. It's like, man, you guys want to watch Greek? I do want to watch Greek.
Yeah.
It's about our lives.
But yeah, good job, everybody. And you know what? Good job, me. I'm proud of myself, and I'm going to take that the whole way to the bank.
Good job, Matt. Good job, Matt. And that's exactly what the exec said as they came running out of their cocaine den, meeting room. So, good news is all 3 of these pilots are getting picked up.
Woo!
Great. That was their reaction too. Bad news is the CW can only pick up one of them. So, let's go in order. Kyle. Your show is very good. However, the CW decided that the infidelity was a little too hinky for them. Because at the end of the day,
you have not watched Riverdale, Andrew.
At the end of the day, the CW can't handle any more infidelity and is going to stick to just straight up teen doing it. So Freeform has picked up
Freeform.
the Flintstones, a modern day family, or whatever the hell you called it. You can see Freeform on its streaming app and maybe on Hulu Plus, I think.
No one knows where Freeform actually is.
I don't even know that it actually exists. So that brings us to Todd. I think your show is the one that I want to watch the most, but I realize that I am not the key demographic here. So unfortunately, the CW has passed on Dexter's Lab. But good news, Pop TV
there we
calls
go.
are
Oh
gonna
man,
pick
Pop
up.
TV. Huh? I've been sending them to voicemail for the past month for different things.
Pop TV is going to cover it. They'll give you a couple episodes on their streaming app, but app only. You can't get it on PlayStation. So
What else?
you have to watch it in browser.
What am I competing with?
Yes, we have Matt.
Yes.
Matt,
Yes!
congratulations. The CW
Oh!
is picking up.
I've never been so
Rangers.
happy to win an episode
And-
before.
I know.
It's
I
mostly
know.
that merch
Really?
deal.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
mostly
yeah.
the merch deal. I'm going to tell you why the CW picked up Rangers, because you made the perfect young adult drama. Because like I said earlier, you basically reincarnated the 100, which is, I think, is one of their more successful apocalyptic teen dramas. I have to specify that is its own genre of apocalyptic teen drama. We're going to get the entire cast from Battlestar Galactica. They're Canadian, so they don't have to get paid as much. It's going to all work out very well.
Man, I'm so happy. Yeah.
So
Man,
congratulations.
somebody called
on
Jason David Frank. I'm putting him in this show. He's still the Green Ranger.
So we'll put him in the pilot. We'll put him in the pilot so we can get that trailer promo. One change is you'll have to narrow it down to only one non-descriptive noun to describe an actual event. We can't have the divide, the fall, and the repulsion. It has
All
to
right,
be one of the three.
we'll hit it on the writer's room and we'll leave something on the floor.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for listening in to Debate This. You all can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast. And also check out our website at debatethiscast.com. If you like if you like what you hear, if you like what I hear, if you like what we all hear, please leave us a review so more people can hear these shenanigans. Until next time, my name is Andrew Henderson.
I'm Kyle. Seriously, go watch at least season 1 of Riverdale. It's a trip. Harper.
I'm Todd. Major Glory
And
Thomas.
I'm Matt, the fantabulous emancipation of Tommy Oliver Cole.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us behind the swing sets.
Woo!
Nerds.